All right, first. So it's like 3:30 a.m. in the morning, but I don't have to live by a clock anymore. I haven't had to for years. But on this one I'm doing right now, I'm watching a Jet Li movie, and I'm eating some cheese and crackers and beef jerky. I got multiple things here, cigarettes, beer, you name it. But I want to tie in a few things that I said. So first, let me speak about the one thing that was on my mind was I spoke about this captain that I had my first captain while I was in the Navy, and it said some things about this man, and this man is dozens and dozens and dozens of people know this man through military service that were also military members, and they have a lot of good things to say about this guy. Um, but the reason why I bring him up and I said his name specifically is because it was very important that I had um, I had a good I had a good captain in my life. That my first captain was a phenomenal leader. This is very important, and I had a mix of other leaders throughout my military career. Some terrible, and some mixed. And I had another significant man that taught me some other things. That was a phenomenal role model. Between those two men, um, they were kind of like father figures of mine, as far as I considered them to be. They didn't spend a lot of time talking to me about some personal stuff. I mean, they both did spend a little bit of time talking about some very personal things. But as far as like listening to them and like learning from them as a man growing up in my 20s, I had two phenomenal guys while I was in the Navy. But it's very important that I had those experiences. And after I had the visions that I had in 2010, in fact, no, I kind of first started realizing this in, I guess, around 2000. Well, I don't know. It's been several years now, 4 or 5 years now. I haven't had to worry about what I need to do or what path I need to go down or had to think about it too much and just focus on what I'm currently working on because something would happen in society that would make it obvious to me the next thing I needed to do. And that's the way the last several years of my life has played out. Something happens, and then, oh, that's the sign. Like, so God gave me some visions, and then He's also given me signs, which I immediately identified what I needed to do next. Because I knew I was the guy I've known since 2010, that I was either the guy that had a connection, or I'm 100% certain of exactly what that is now. But as far as my life, I don't have to be concerned about what the world's doing or if I'm being effective in what I'm saying or if anyone's listening to me. Because as soon as something else happens, like recently happened February 15th, I knew that day. That day I knew, oh, time on Facebook's over. Like that day I realized it. It was the last day of Happy New Year in China, Year of the Tiger, my first video I ever made about the Dr. Seuss. First video I ever made of myself was concerning the Dr. Seuss books being canceled. Obviously, his most famous one is Cat in the Hat. There's a lot of things that tie into that, and There's so many. Once someone sits me down and interviews me and does a documentary, talks to other people, but spends dozens of hours talking to me. There are so many things that match up symbolically, number wise, birthday. Like there's so many things that match up with my life. It's ridiculous. Like the story of Jonah and the whale. Like that's a God wrote that in a previous lifetime of his to as a prophecy of my lifetime. Now 7 days in a whale. Anyways, I've talked about this on a previous video, but a few examples of things that happened, and I immediately took action or changed what I was going to do. So I discussed a little bit how I was going through a process of knowing that I needed to leave the United States, um, and talked to some other people because friends and family just were kind of no one was talking to me. Right, went through years of that. Living in several different locations. I spent some time, in college to talk to people, but I never got around to talking to someone uh, about some very serious, about the visions I had. I knew if I told them, it would just be wasted, wasted on their ears. They wouldn't believe me. So the thing that happened that caused, and I wrote about this on my Facebook, the thing that had happened that caused, as soon as I saw it, I don't know if it was on Netflix or if it was on YouTube, but as soon as I saw in Jerry Seinfeld's Comedians in Cars Drinking Coffee, the episode that he had Eddie Murphy, he had spent a lot of time doing those episodes with a lot of comedians, but as soon as I saw him with Eddie Murphy drinking coffee on his show, talking about how life sucked, oh, it's time to fly to Japan. So I'd already gone through the process of like selling my homes, and I was kind of like vacationing. I was vacationing in Vermont, actually. I went back there to enjoy the rest of my time until I was going to leave the United States. So I basically got rid of everything I owned, cleared all my debt, and I was kind of in Vermont, just kind of like enjoying my time. I was back in my hotel room, and I was searching for. I had my computer with me. I searched for something to watch. So the episode, I said, Eddie Murphy. Fucking very next day, or that night after that episode, I bought my ticket to fly to Japan. The very next day after I saw it, like fucking Eddie Murphy. Like I know Eddie Murphy likes to fuck, and like Jerry Seinfeld's entire fucking career, he never swore, never dropped an F bomb, and all his episodes of Seinfeld shows were all about how funny it was that Elaine and him never fucked. I was like, holy shit, these guys are talking about how life sucks. No one's fucking on this fucking show. Time to fucking leave the United States. It's just so funny to me. The things that I've been blessed with. But God's gonna bless himself, obviously, if he's having another lifetime down on here. But if a core part of his soul is gonna have another lifetime on here, he's gonna amuse himself. So that happened. Immediately I left the United States. Right, I was in Japan for like 30 days or something before I met my wife. Um, the next thing that happened was uh, the Dr. Seuss books being canceled. Talking about this went after his first book written in 1928. Oh my god! And it's about a boy having dreams. He's going through his dream. He's going down the street and he sees all these characters. And this book has many pages. There's so many different characters. I mean, if you count the number of characters written on all the pages in that book, there's hundreds of them, right? And one of them happens to be a small, like on the pages written on, there's like 30 other fucking depictions of dream characters that a child's having. So it's for a child to read these books for their imagination. And one of the, an Asian looking person with chopsticks eating out of a bowl and a conical hat on. And they said specifically they canceled those books for those three reasons, but they missed the clogs on the feet. So as soon as I had enough time to look that stuff up, first I heard about it, but as soon as I took a day and looked up that stuff, oh, time to fucking start making some videos myself and start talking. Then, I did that for the preceding, year and a half following that. Made videos. I continued my dialogue and record on my Facebook. And then, come the day of the 15th of this month, oh, record on Facebook. Fucking game over. Done with that. I don't even have to wait. Like, it was all that burden for fucking, since I got out of the Navy. Had those visions waiting for someone to talk to me since 2010. Had those visions to get out of the Navy 2011. Like, all that burden I've been carrying for over a decade was just lifted off my shoulders that fucking day. Like, I didn't have to think about it at all. Just like the thought process in my head just immediately snapped to, oh, don't have to worry about anybody on Facebook anymore. Them talking to me, conversating on me, thumb upping my video or leaving a comment or anything. None of it even matters, right? Time to make some videos on YouTube. Yeah, I'm telling you, these guys, most everyone I knew in the state of Maine, and most of my family, like my brother, for example, which I'm sure he doesn't even get on Facebook. I might give him a call. But any of these people, uh, if they got what is it? It's going rolling into the fifth day now since the 15th, right? It's the 20th right now. Oh, it's the 19th. Oh, still, oh, still the 19th. Okay, I guess that's the fourth day. I guess this is the fourth day. So they got 3 more days after this one. Watch those videos or something and communicate with me. Other than that, I'm talking about dozens and dozens of people that I knew either through work or school or earlier or college or whatever. Anyone that knew me, they got to get a few more days to contact me. If they don't, then basically, if they ever contact me in the future, I'm not gonna respond. I'm just not gonna respond because I've been ignored. I've been ignored for over a decade. Just completely fucking ignored. And maybe I'll continue to get ignored, but I know the path now is to make recordings for YouTube, and it's been a few days now. And if you want to get any following on YouTube, you have to be on it for months, right? So I'm emailing specific people. I'll mention a few of those names, specific people that I thought would be a good idea to email. I emailed Jordan Peterson's daughter. I emailed a guy. If you're into watching anything about the mob, I emailed a guy named Michael Frances, something about his character. I thought he would be a good guy to email. I sent a lengthy email to PR Netflix about doing a documentary series, and I basically forwarded that entire email to a few people. And someone's YouTube channel. I was looking for Jordan Peterson's email contact on the name of their YouTube channel is The Meaning of Life, is Search for the Meaning of Life or something like that. I had no idea, but I was just in the process. I never watched any of their content. I was in the process of emailing a few specific people, so I emailed the email associated with that YouTube account too. Search for the meaning of life. I don't even know. I didn't subscribe or anything. I forget. I have to check my email to see who I emailed. But yeah, I'm working on those things. I know what I need to work on, and in general, I just need to enjoy my marriage with my wife for the rest of my life in order for me to be happy. Because if God's going to spend a life down here that should have been completely unnecessary, then He's at least going to try to enjoy it, so that when He dies in one more life down here, because I'm a completely new soul person. I don't know what that means for me after I die, but he doesn't want someone else showing up there that is like nearly directly tied to him. That's just like what they do to me. Like, can you imagine what happened when Jesus Christ died and went to heaven? I mean, you understand. Like, this guy came down to die for your sins. Like, they killed him. They killed thousands of Jews. They forced the women to make their crosses. They wrote a fucking. They wrote this book about Christianity. You know how many people they killed after that with the Roman Empire, going around carrying those crosses? Like, Jesus Christ! Like, he's completely devastated. Like, he was like, he was another lifetime of God in the flesh on this earth, and God has had, I'm pretty sure He's had over 100. I only know for a fact a few of them. Whoever wrote the Book of Job, that was him. Leonardo da Vinci, that was a lifetime of God. Also, God was Adolf Hitler and Albert Einstein at the same time, believe it or not. For some reason, I know that. Uh, think about that one. Um, but you have choice, and choice was certain choice was made during that period of time now, wasn't it? And they weren't twins or nothing, completely different ethnicities, but if you believe all the souls come from God and the Creator, He can be anyone across the entire planet that He wants to be. In any culture, right? Whether they're recognized to be a prophet or have anything to do religion at all. So, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Well, when the souls come from you, I mean, do you really think when the souls come from God, do you really think? Do you think, or do you just know what you can get away with and the associated story and the way you need to line things up, whether that's months, years, decades, or whatever, to brainwash the public to, like, I mean, the stuff with this Justin Trudeau guy in fucking Canada. it's unbelievable. But anyways, that's some more on that. And I have so many things that have lined up in my life, symbolism and just dates and certain things that happen. Some takes dozens of hours for me to talk to this stuff so they can understand the significance. Like I know for a fact that I don't have to care what anybody fucking says to me, other than my wife. I don't have to care what anybody fucking says to me for the rest of my fucking life. Like there's no way anyone can convince me to do something that I feel like is completely illegitimate or will get no results or only benefits a few people. I mean, I don't even have to play a sucker for the rest of my life, right? You listen to people talk. I spent majority of my life doing that, listening to people talk their right out of their asses. Saw what, you know, people are obvious about what their intention is. Doesn't matter what someone says. It matters what someone's intention is, and listen to what they say. If you pay close attention to thinking, why are they saying what they're saying? You can figure out what they're intend on doing, right? And I mean, a guy like Justin Trudell, I mean, I know that type of character. I don't know if he had any siblings, but I know for a fact if he did, when mommy and daddy were coming home, he was trying to get them in trouble. So they would, have to be, get their money taken away from the week or have to stay in their room for fucking 2 hours and not have to do any chores, shit like that. Now, that's the prime minister of the country threatening further restrictions, threatening to fucking euthanize people's fucking pets. Like, this guy's an absolute piece of shit. He's that spoiled, rotten child that thinks they're thinks that they're getting away with things because the parents favor them, when meanwhile when the parents aren't aren't in the home, what's he doing? He's threatening all his other siblings in the house. Like, when mom and dad get back here, I'm gonna tell you what you did. Tell them what you did. I caught you talking to Tommy, and they told you not to talk to the boy down the street. And you're either gonna do what I say when mom and dad, before mom and dad get back here, or I'm gonna tell them yada yada yada. Like a complete snitch, fucking, young child at the house. Like, his development, personality, character is nothing higher than that, and he's the Prime Minister of Canada. Pretty serious stuff. I mean, the how bad things can possibly get in Canada in a real short amount of time is hard to know. I mean, they need to remove. He should not be the sooner they can replace him with another prime minister, the better. I'll put it that way.